Seems there's not enough light facing my way. I'm going to have to go do something about that. Hold on just a second. Whoop. Just turn this light that I have here around. Let's see if that doesn't help. No, it does not. That means I have to bring it over here. All right, hold on just a second. I'm not really sure I want this light right in front of my face, but might be too bright. But there's nowhere else for me to put it. That seems to look good. Okay. See, whoa, that is pretty loud. If it'll be good enough for me to set over there. I've got a little lag on my video, so I'm looking to see what's going to happen here. Whoa, I just dropped the phone. I got a new tripod. I showed it on my previous stream, but it's not been uploaded to YouTube. It's got one of those bendable legs setups on them. So it's allowing me to do what I'm doing right now. So I got a bunch of things in the mail the last few days, including get this guy back on his hook here, including a pair of these gaming glasses that I do not know yet whether they work, whether they will work for me. I've yet to find out. I got Shadow of War, and I have not even finished Shadows of Mordor yet. I got Borderlands 3, just arrived today. I've only played 2, and I think I'm only halfway through the game. And last but not least, what I've talked about in previous streams is I got my book of some maps. I've been waiting to open these until I was on a stream again. What I did is I went out and I bought a card table that I could fold up. It's actually a round table, not really what you would think of as a card table. It's a round table. I bought myself a round table. But I could fold the legs up so that it's not taking up all the space in my room here. All I really had to do is slide the weight bench back over, which is right here. And I can leave this table here set up with all the miniatures and everything. Oh, wow, let's see what we've got here. I've actually got my bed right behind me here. These are kind of nice. Two-sided. Move some stuff over here. And I could set up things on this looks like this was inside of a tavern or something. They've got a little fire pit in the middle here. That's just one map. I have how many came in here? Several of them actually. This one here's got this one here might be more ideal. It has destroyed buildings and houses. Burned up trees. Would be more fitting for what I'm have in mind. They have over here a statue of what looks like a gargoyle. They're not exactly what I had in mind, but they are pretty decent. These are, you know, for role-playing. Rolling dice, they got the square blocks for the amount of moves and steps that your characters can take. But, you know, they're good for what I'm doing. I remember, I don't know if anybody would remember these. When I was a kid, I had these road maps that you can fold up. When you open them up, everything was three-dimensional. They had bridges and roads that went up hills, and I think there was some building structures on them. They were made for Hot Wheels cars. And I remember when I was a kid, me and my friends would take the cheap little plastic Army guys and some of the G.I. Joe stuff and the vehicles that we had, and we would role play, basically. We would set up the board, and we would basically do that kind of thing. I had already been doing things similar to D&D tabletop gaming before I ever even heard of it. I was really young. I was really little. I hadn't been exposed to any of that kind of stuff. But there I was with those maps. I don't remember what they were called. But they weren't like a pop-up book. They were already structured and set up. You can go over the bridges and things like that. And it was really cool. I really do not recall what they were. Or I don't remember what they were called. So here's the dragon. The one side, the wing I did the other day. It doesn't seem to want to stay on this. This doesn't look too bad. Still got some finishing to do on that side. I have not bought any more miniatures. I might go to the store later today. I forget that store is open until midnight on Fridays. I got off of work at 8 o'clock last night. And they're only around the block from me. I only have to go a few feet in that direction. But I may go over today and see what they have for more structures. I mean, I have not finished painting these yet. I have not even worked on them. I can't have this thing sitting under my elbows. I don't have sleeves right here, so it's sticking. I've not been too highly motivated, you know. It's sort of difficult for me to get myself in the mood to do these sorts of things. There's no secret why. My personal life is not exactly something to brag about. You know, and I'm having issues at work that I like my job and I like what I'm learning there, but it's hard because of some of the people. I'm not perfect. I'm no angel, that's for sure. I'm just as guilty as anyone who has given me problems. But the difference between me and them is that I'm not unwilling to adjust and adapt. You know, at least certainly not when I'm able to. Here we go. Okay. But it's also unfair that I should be singled out as the problem. I remember one job. Instead of dealing with the problem, they just got rid of me. And I guarantee you the problem still existed after I was gone. Two days after that, I found out my girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my first son. That was many years ago. I do not believe I'm going to paint all these the same. I think I'll have a little mixture of the rugged looking silvery gray that I have here, and then the other copperish type sort of gold color, kind of mix them together. I think maybe I'll do this, the top and the base in the other color. I'd like to keep this kind of rugged looking, sort of rustic and crumbling. But when I finished the other one, it didn't really turn out to look like that, and I'm hoping that maybe this one will when it dries. Using this dry paint, dabbing my brush a little bit into the water. I also only had the pointed brush at the time. I didn't have this flat one. So it might make some difference the way it goes on, the way that the paint gets applied. Not sure how much you can see what I'm doing here. I have a light over there. I could do some more moving around on the table here so that everybody can see what I'm doing better, but I'm mostly just worried about everyone seeing the results more than actually watching me paint. My results aren't going to be all that great. That's no secret. We could try some of that on the wagon. Just dabble it over the black that's on here. Maybe that'll give me more of what I wanted, of that sun-faded look that I mentioned before. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. I know that a lot of people that do this probably are very particular and very perfectionist. I suppose I would be normally, but I know that I'm not going to have excellent results with a lot of the parts, and I know that when I get the characters, that they're so small and they have such small little limbs and spots like this, dragging toes and things like that, then I would have a very difficult time keeping my hands steady so that I could do it right, do it well. These people that, I'm sure some of them also do it under a magnifying glass. You know, I might mix up the, excuse me, the color a little bit on this. This area here doesn't necessarily have to be purple. Of course, I don't really know if I want to do that. Bring some red or some blue down right in here, and kind of overlap this area. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm on here now doing this. As you can see, I'm sort of doing it randomly. I'm doing it out of my personal and ethical obligation to anyone who wants to see it. I do not know who has watched these videos, because if anybody is looking at it on the Twitter feed, I don't know that they are. Nobody said anything. And I do not know also that if you watch a video that's linked into another site, and then you go look at it on YouTube, and you can see how many views that video has had. 10 people could watch it on Twitter, and I might not see that there's been 10 views on YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if it works like that. Never been able to figure it out. I can refresh my YouTube video 5 times and know there will be 5 new views when I do that. So I don't know how that all works. Trying to fill in some areas that are still gray. Just go over the missed spots here. You know, a lot of people would probably also have a lot of this done off video, and then come back on another video and show the results. But this gives me a chance to communicate things, and even if nobody ever watches them or responds to anything I say. There's one guy at work that said he would come on my stream just to give me a hard time. And of course I would know that it was him. Last night I played Destiny 2 with an old friend who, when I first left my home, which is almost a year ago, or 2 years ago rather, in March it'll be 2 years since my second wife cast me back out. Within a month or so, I had to figure out, I still had an active gold membership on the Xbox. But at that time, I could not afford or find an Xbox One in my price range. I found a 360 And since I never finished my Destiny 1 game on the 360, I played that a lot, and I played Borderlands 2 and some other games. But I met this girl on Destiny, and we started playing until her life circumstances upheavaled her as well. We stayed in touch on Facebook all this time, and then yesterday while I was at work, I discovered that she's on an Xbox One now. And she's playing D2 on there. So I ran around a little bit and then just sort of chatted until I was too tired. That was the first time in a long time that I came straight home from work and went straight onto the Xbox. I normally don't do that. Anyway, I had her on the stream with me and I was talking to her, but I do not believe, and I don't fully understand how the voice connection worked, because she was talking to me from the app and it connects to the system. And even though my Xbox told me she was on the stream with me, she was not. You could not hear her talking on the stream. She had to use her phone because there was no mic. She had no mic for the Xbox. So that was the first time I can recall ever having somebody on a live stream with me and playing with another person that I actually knew, not just going into some public event or a strike, as they're called on Destiny. But anyway, I found out she plays Neverwinter. And I've kept it no secret that I've been a Salvatore fan. Been reading his books off and on over the years. And I've checked out most of the games for that series. So I may get on and stream some Neverwinter. Be a good time to test those glasses, because that game actually hurts my eyes a little bit. Oh, I think I splashed a little bit too much in that spot. I seem to have somebody coming in to take a look at what I'm doing. Say hi, give me a follow. Tell me who you are. As you can see, I am painting some D&D miniatures. I'm not very good at it. I'm fairly new. Try not to be too much of a perfectionist, but because I know I'm not going to make this turn out too well. Well, don't be shy. Alright, let's see what I've got here. Let that wing dry. I'm going to grab up one of these little stools and What color was I painting the other one? I think it was this. Oy. Well, for anybody who will watch the uploaded video later, I have a lurker, which is not unusual. Oh, I got this coating on the brush coming off. I can't help but get a little bit leery of those of you that will come into my chat and not say anything. Last night I had somebody follow me without ever saying a word. They followed me and they left. I don't know what was going on there. Here, have a seat. Getting some of this on my fingers. Well, now, oops. Now I have to try to set this down without rubbing the paint off the corners there. Where'd that one go? This is the one. Let's get some of that color around the base of this like I said I was going to do earlier. You know, it's funny because I can well, that's strange. There's nobody different in my room than in my chat, the stream chat. Oh well. Yeah, I don't think anybody has popped in. I have myself on there and the account that belonged to my stepdaughter. But it didn't show up right away. I don't know why. Sitting here, it looked like I only had one viewer, myself. And then all of a sudden I look over there and it says 2. Alright, let's do the entire base. The same, just like that. It's hard at this point for me to know what I should talk about. I mean, I remember I used to watch this guy who played World of Tanks. He only ever did YouTube videos. And the way his claim to fame was amazing because he was using YouTube as a place to store his video files. And all of a sudden, he becomes really popular and he becomes really well liked. His name is Mighty Jingles. He's from Europe. And so over the years, he started talking on his videos and recording the voiceover, and he would answer questions that people would send to him. And he would make up his own different variety of series the types of tech videos that he would make, and he would portray other players and talk about what they were doing in the match. And then, of course, he did a lot of other video games as well. I also like listening and watching Pointy Haired Jedi, another one from Europe. I haven't looked at what they've done in a long time. Mostly because I noticed that they were opening up more with their foul language than they used to on their videos. I know that when they're on live streams that they might swear during the middle of a game, but Jingles didn't live stream himself. He played with others who were on live streams. But I would love it if something like that took off for me. If people would come on and he would answer personal questions about his life. Of course, I don't have a lot of good stories to tell. I have stories, but they're not all happy. Not very many of them are going to have a cheerful outcome. I have experiences that are not necessarily good or bad. But it's hard to get to a place where you can do things like that if you have no viewers and you have no one inquiring on your videos. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to let some of that carry under the gap between the top stone and the second stone of this pillar. See, this color is just a base paint, so it's got to go on a little bit thicker in order for it to look right. I think it's the brush is a little too wet. The paint is awfully liquidy. You got to shake it up and stir it up a little bit. Then I get too much on the brush, you see that? So it's sort of iffy how this turns out for me. So I'm not a talented miniature painter. Yeah, as for my streams and such, I've tried to give away prizes, and I'd love to be able to do something like that. I didn't care as much about getting hundreds and thousands of followers and all these people donating a lot of money. I'm not as much concerned with that as I wouldn't mind if I just had 10 viewers once in a while and people who chatted with me. Now, that's actually not too horrible. Put this down over here. Well, let's see. I've done about a 35-minute video. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this and upload it. Please leave a comment, subscribe to YouTube, come follow me on Mixer. Thank you.